Okay, welcome back to Teal House Farm. We are attempting a new microphone today. We're going to see, hopefully this whole video doesn't have to be voiceovered. As you know, we bought an expensive microphone and it broke 2 seconds into the video I tried it out on. And so this time I bought a cheap microphone. This one cost me $5. So we're going to see how it does and if it lasts longer than that expensive microphone I bought. Anyway, we're harvesting today. Thought I'd take you along. We're doing snap peas. Got some more radishes, got some spinach. We're going to do some planting. Let's come along and talk about limited space gardening, talk about raised beds, talk about our no-till bed, just ways to do more intensive gardening if you have a limited amount of space. Also, if you have a limited amount of time and physical ability, these are types of gardening that can work really well for you because they are not quite as hard on your body once they're all set up. So let's go ahead and get started. To get started here, we have some critters we do not want. Those guys right there. Those, I believe, are going to grow into a type of vine borer, and we do not want them in our garden. We're lucky they look like they just maybe hatched over here, and we're going to drown them in some soapy water and get rid of them before they become a problem. On our farm, we have mulberry trees, and that tends to be where the pests start their season. And then once the mulberry tree is done, they meander over here. So that's what we're starting to see. They're starting to come over to the raised beds and seeing what they can get. And so we're just gonna keep our eyes out. I just kind of check every time I'm out in the garden. The squash plants and the larger plants aren't very big yet to really attract anything. So it's really keeping my eye on the raised beds is what I'm doing right now. There, that takes care of them. They can't swim out, so they end up drowning. I know that seems ruthless, but I need to eat, and they will prevent that from happening. Those little guys will cause quite a bit of destruction. Oh, there's another one. Just smash them. Just kind of keep my eyes open. Okay, that cicada, that giant cicada there is not going to hurt anything. They do not harm garden plants, so that's good. He can just hang out there. But let's go ahead and pick some of these sweet peas. These snap peas are really nice because they grow quite a few pods per plant. I didn't actually plant very much in here and got quite a bit. We've been eating them through the week. So this isn't my first time harvesting, but I'm doing a big one now because some of these guys are starting to get huge. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull everything off. My plan is just to keep them in a bag in the fridge and just use them over the next 4 to 5 days. So snap peas cannot be canned, at least I don't think they can, and I imagine even if you could, they would be super mushy coming out of the jar. So the best thing to do if you don't want to eat them right now is to blanch them, which means to bring water to a boil, throw them in for a minute or two, and then drain them, pat them dry, and then you're going to put that in the freezer in a Ziploc or reusable Ziploc type bag, squeeze all the air out. You could use a vacuum sealer if you want them to last a really long time. There aren't enough here that I'm going to bother trying to preserve any of them, but like I said, we're going to get several meals out of this, and they're great for just raw snacking, and they're great stir-fried. I ended up doing a stir-fry with these with some carrots, and then I made a beef and broccoli type meal, but instead of broccoli, I did the snap peas. That was really good, and then we just ate them for a bunch of lunches. I'm really impressed with how many I actually got. I got several pounds out of these just two fine sides on my boxes, so it was definitely worth planting, and I will definitely do this again. Snap peas do kind of all come in at the same time. We've been picking off the plant for about a week, but the bulk of them are all going to be picked at the same time right now. I do a little weeding around my onions, probably another month until the onions are ready, but you can see they're really starting to bulb, so I'm excited about these. Grab some more peas. The onions are nice because they'll last all winter just sitting out. They don't need to be preserved. My potatoes are right here. Those won't be ready for quite a while, but they're getting huge. And these spinach plants are all done. I'm just gonna pick off a few of the remaining leaves, and I'm gonna leave these real tall stalks that have gone to seed, and we're gonna see if it reseeds itself for fall. This is a little bit of an experiment. I had one radish that I forgot to pull last time, so the radishes are all out of there. And then I grab a helper who wants to go out and pick some mulberries. Now the mulberries don't fit in my raised bed, obviously it's a humongous bush, but we get our hats on. The mulberries are out in the yard, we just kind of mow around it, keep it clear, and then we can go out and pick, and you get about 3 weeks out of the year when you can pick from the mulberry tree, but it is huge and loaded. I have well over a gallon still in my freezer that we've already picked. We've been snacking on them daily, we've been putting them in our yogurt, I've been baking them into pies, into pancakes, into muffins. But the tree is about done, so Pat and I are going to pull a whole bunch off. Probably going to get one more day out here of a good pick, and then the tree will be done for the year, and we'll wait a few weeks and our blackberries will be ready. Mulberries do come with a little stem on them. You do not have to stem the mulberry to eat it, you just eat the whole thing. And it's about the size of a raspberry. Pat spends more time eating the mulberries than actually picking them, so my jar's not getting very full, but he's having a good time and they're good for you, so we'll just enjoy it. Okay, so you guys have been around here long enough, you know that I usually set time goals. The time goal today is to work until the baby wakes up from her nap, which should be the next 15 to 20 minutes, so I'm kind of running out of time, but I really want to get the rest of my Three Sisters garden in, so we're going to try to do that real quick. So the corn is already sprouted, it's a good height. We're going to add the pole beans around the corn and the squash in the middle. I'll show you what I'm going to use. There are a million other things I could do in this garden right now. My tomatoes need more like tying up. I can't think of the right word. They're growing taller than where they're tied now. They need to be tied down again. There's some weeding. The strawberries really needed weeded, and so did the other green beans, the bush beans, but I'm just going to look the other way for right now. Today's goal was to harvest and to hopefully finish this Three Sisters garden, and I'm only working until the baby wakes up, because when she wakes up I'm going to need to feed her, and I still have a million things to do inside the house today, so then I'm just going to be done, and I'm going to accept what we get done and be thankful for what we get done. So let's go ahead. I'll show you what we're going to put in the Three Sisters garden. I have some leftover pole beans from last year. I'm not buying any new beans for this. I already have a million green beans in the garden and a variety of bush beans, so whatever germinates from that old pack I will accept, and whatever doesn't, that's fine. Saved some pumpkins from our last year's largest pumpkin, kind of making our own pumpkin variety, I guess, just to make sure we get a big one. We'll see how that works. And on the fringes, I have 2 zucchini squash seeds left, so I'm going to go ahead and plant that on the fringes. It's late enough in the summer that hopefully the squash bugs won't destroy it. All right, the Three Sisters garden does need weeded. We're going to go ahead and just do a little bit of hoeing and weeding really fast to get these seeds in the ground, and we don't need to water today because it's supposed to pour tonight, so we get to save ourselves a little bit of work on that one. So first step, we just need to get out here and do a little hoeing around the corn just to get any weeds out. The no-till bed here already has a lot of like savings and straw and stuff mixed into it, plus the cardboard, so really don't get very many weeds, but every once in a while you gotta kind of scrape some off the top. So we're just gonna kind of hoe in between the rows of corn that I planted several weeks ago, and that'll get our ground ready for our pumpkins and for our pole beans. All right, I realized after I was done, that my phone had run out of space while I was recording. So I do not know how much of that planting you got, but I did get it all done. I got the green beans in, I got the pumpkins in, I got the zucchini in. We're done. Hopefully, hopefully I got some shots. That's always disappointing. Happens more often than you think, but sometimes I'll actually go back and re-record things, doing it twice, so that you have shots for the vlog. But I'm already working on borrowed time here, but the baby's gonna wake up like any second. So I hope all of your gardens are going well and that you're out there enjoying them. That the weather's being nice. It's been very nice to us here. I'm very thankful because of it. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all again really soon.